Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be making these super sweet card guards. This file is from Parker on the Porch, and they are just so adorable. So you have your little design on the front, and you turn it around, and it's got the perfect place for an ID holder or a gift card, whatever you want to put on it. I think these are just so cute, and what a fun way to give a gift card or to even put on a lanyard for an ID tag. So super easy to make. You can make these in a 4x4 hoop, and I will link the file and all of the materials that we're going to be using in the description below the video so that it will make it easy for you to find what you need. On this one, I made the faux leather in the front, faux leather in the back. This one I used faux leather in the front, felt on the back, and then you need your clear vinyl as well. So let's get started with this really fun, really easy project. So here is the design I opened in the Chroma Luxe software. I have imported my fonts into my favorites. You can import them in the Chroma Luxe as a keyboard font, but I just find this just as easy, and I have put them over here in my favorites. The font that I'm using to add the name is the Itch to Stitch Heart Maze Bean Stitch, and I use the 1/2 inch. Now, once you add the name, you want to reorganize it so that it goes up the third from the last. You want it to stitch right after the heart. So you have your placement stitch, and then you're going to have your rainbow from the outside in stitch, and then that heart, and that's where you want the name to stitch. So you want to, if you just want to see how it's going to stitch, there's your placement, there's your rainbow, there's the heart, and then the name, and then you're going to do the finishing last 2 steps. So just make sure that you insert the name right before the last 2 steps. So it should be step number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, step number 7. So go ahead and print your design either from the Chroma software or use the one that comes from Parker on the Porch. So you can see what the finished project looks like right here. So I have printed out my design and my instruction sheet. This comes with the file. And I just printed this out so that I know how big to cut my materials. I have one piece of plastic for the pocket on the back. I have a piece of vinyl, and that's going to be the front. And then I have a piece of felt. I used vinyl on the back of this one. I thought I would try felt on this one. You can do whatever you want. And then you're going to need a eyelet or whatever you want to put up here for your fastener. I'm going to use these eyelets. I will link them in the description below, as well as a little ball chain. So let's hop over to the machine and we'll get this all set up. So over here at the machine, I have the machine unlocked. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to the last page, which is where my file is. It's called Judith. I'm just going to click OK. I'm going to send it to the machine. I'm going to go to the machine. It'll be on the last page. Grab the file, click OK. And then we can go in and choose our colors. So we're going to go to Colors. So I'm going to set my colors. The very first color is your placement stitch. So I'm just going to do that in color 4. The second color is going to be the pink. I'm going to do that in 4. The next color is going to be the dark blue. The next line of the rainbow, that's going to be color 8. Oops. The next one's going to be the light blue, which is my color 10. The next one's going to be the green, which is my 7. The next one's going to be your heart, and I'm going to do that in color 10. And then you're going to have the name, and I think I'm going to do that in pink on the next one. And then you're going to have your finishing last 2 stitches, and I'm going to do those in white. So you should have a total of 9 steps. There's 6 in a row. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, and it looks like we've got them all. So we're going to click OK. Next thing we need to do is tell the machine which hoop we're going to use. We're going to go to Design Set. I'm going to click on the hoops. I'm going to choose hoop C. I'm actually using a 5.5 inch mighty hoop, but I just choose hoop C, which is a 5x7 hoop, and it works just wonderfully. So we're just going to click OK. It's going to center up. I'm going to hit Escape, And I'm going to put it on, make sure it's on needle 1. So I bought this laser. This does not come with the machine. I bought this from somebody I saw in the Racoma group that posted it. So I'm just going to get that centered on the hoop. And I'm just eyeballing this to that. It doesn't really have to be exactly center for this, but we just want to make sure we're not going to hit that hoop. I'm going to lock it up. And we're going to hit trace. All right. Now I'm going to unlock it for 1 second. I'm going to go back to the colors because I'm using the C hoop. I can actually go ahead and schedule my frame outs so that I can tell the machine when to stop and when to not. So I'm going to put it back on automatic. I need it to stop after that very first stitch, which is my placement. So on the very first one, I'm going to click the F, which is a frame out. So that means it's going to stitch it and then it's going to stop and frame out. And then it can stitch step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 without stopping. So all of those can go. And then after it stitches stitch 7, which is the 7th box, I need it to stop so that I can put the back on. So I'm going to click a frame out there. And then I need it to stop again so that I can put the backing on the little pocket. So we're going to click a frame out there. So I've got a frame out on step 1, step 7, and step 8. And we should be good to go. So we're just going to click OK. And we're going to let it start. Lock it up and click start. And you can see it framed out. There is my frame. I sprayed the back of my vinyl with some 505 adhesive spray. Just going to lay that down into place. And we're going to hit start. Okay, so after that last step where it stitches the name, we're just going to remove it from the machine. Flip it over. I've sprayed this with the 505 spray, and I'm just going to put my felt over the back and place it back in the machine. Reach under there, make sure that your felt is still nice and smooth. Go ahead and stitch one more stitch. So all it stitched this time was the little placement stitch right here and then the top half. These two placement stitches tell you where your clear plastic needs to go for the next step. So you're going to flip it over. So here's the close-up. So this is what it stitched, and then right on the ends are your placement lines. You want to make sure and put your plastic straight across there. I'm going to try to do this while holding this in the air. I'm going to tape it down. Try to get it straight. So I've got that plastic taped down. Now this is a little trick that I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to put it back on the machine. Making sure that plastic is where it's supposed to be. I'm going to cover it with a piece of just regular tissue paper. That plastic is very sticky and it tends to want to hang up on the machine. So if I just put this tissue paper over it, it will help it go ahead and slide. So we're going to go ahead and stitch that final stitch. So we're all done, and we can just simply tear this tissue paper off. Okay, so you're going to take your stabilizer and go ahead and remove it as best you can. And then you're just going to cut, leaving a quarter or about 1/8 of an inch, I suppose, whatever you like. Once you have your item cut out, it's time to add your eyelet. I like to use a crocodile to poke my holes. However, this little set, if you happen to get this one, I'll link it in the description below. It comes with its own hole punch and it's really easy to do. You simply put it down and tap it, but I just use a crocodile. It's easier. I use the larger size hole, just center it, make the hole, and then you just pick an eyelet. I'm going to put a blue one in this. Stick it in the hole. I'm going to put it on this little base. This all comes with the unit. And then you take one of these backings and you put that over that. And then this little tool has a open end that goes right over the eyelet. You're going to tap it with a hammer. And there you have your eyelet set. And then I just add one of these little ball chains, like so. Oops. And there you have it. It's got a nice little pocket for your gift card or your vaccination card or your ID card, whatever you need, and super cute on the front. I hope you enjoyed this card guard project from Parker on the Porch. I think it's adorable. It's so cute for a gift card, a school ID, an ID for work, your parking card, or just to keep your vaccination card in, or I can think of just a ton of ideas. I have all of the products used linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to click that bell so that you're notified every time there's a new video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, never stop making. See ya. Bye-bye.